Good evening, I'm Justin Betty. Tonight we are exactly 5 weeks until the 2020 presidential election. Tonight we had what was billed as the first presidential debate of this election season. Of course, people these days are divided, so we expected people to think whichever candidate they support won the debate and whichever side they oppose lost the debate. Instead, the overwhelming sentiment, at least on social media, was just embarrassment. Watch this interaction after former Vice President Joe Biden was asked about the Supreme Court opening.
You're in voting now. Vote and let your senators know how strongly you feel. Vote now.
Are you going to pack the
Make
court?
sure you, in fact, let people know you're a senator. I'm not going to answer the question
Why would you answer that
because
question?
the question is
radical left.
Will you shut up, man?
Listen, who is on your list, Joe? Who's on your list?
Right. Gentlemen, I think
this
we've
is
ended
so
this.
He's going to pack the court.
We have
We
have ended this segment. We're going to.
That's Fox News host Chris Wallace, who moderated tonight's debate, widely regarded as one of the hardest interviewers in the country from both sides. Tonight, many people think Wallace was just overwhelmed by the chaos on stage, though at one point he appeared to have enough.
Sir,
with $1 billion, if you
that is absolutely
you know what,
not true.
You're doing it.
You're going to
Not
have
true,
gentlemen. I hate to raise my voice, but it seems to be. Why should I be different than the two of you?
We had 90 minutes of this. We have 2 more debates planned. Anyway, the Forest County Republican Party held a presidential debate preview party tonight ahead of tonight's action. Newswatch 12's Zach White attended that event and brings us the latest.
Isn't it great to be a Republican? Yes, sir. That's Tommy.
Republican leaders and supporters gathered at Beach's Steaks and Spirits in Crandon
4 more years. 4 more years. 4 more years. 4 more years.
to listen to what each presidential candidate has to say regarding the upcoming election. Republican Party of Forest County Chairman Robert Schultheis says events like this are important at the local level.
What this debate does for the people here in Forest County, basically in Forest County, but the state of Wisconsin in general, is to try to bring out the truth.
Speakers at the event included other northern Wisconsin Republican leaders like Mary Felskowski, who touched on making the voices and values of northern Wisconsin heard.
The needs of the people in the northern part of the state are no different than the needs of the people in the rest of the state.
And opportunity.
No matter if you are a child in school, no matter where your zip code is, you have the same opportunities for education. If you are a senior, you have the same opportunities for health care.
And Jeff Mursaw, who spoke on issues such as broadband access.
Right now we're working on see what we can do immediately to try to fix things or try to help things along.
In Crandon, Zach White, Newswatch 12.
Democratic 7th Congressional District candidate Tricia Zunker held her own virtual event tonight as well. That ran from 7 till 8. All right, outside, Jeff, how are things looking tonight?
Oh, let's turn over to weather, right? High temperatures today near 50 to 55 across much of the area. Tomorrow, same story. But
today, Portage County health officials announced the county's 5th and 6th deaths related to COVID-19 in their county. In our 12-county north central Wisconsin region, DHS reports 88 people in the hospital right now with COVID-19. That is a new high. They say 35 of those are in the ICU. Across the state, DHS reports 2,367 new cases today, along with 17 new deaths. That is the most since May. Today, Governor Evers held a news briefing to discuss the recent spike of COVID-19 cases in Wisconsin. In that briefing, the governor stressed too many people in the state, by his measure, are not following safety protocols, things like wearing a mask, and said we should do it really more for our others than for ourselves.
We owe it to those struggling with the loss of a loved one, to those who are working in our healthcare facilities caring for the sick, and to our most vulnerable neighbors who are at high risk, to do the best we can individually every day to stop the spread of this virus.
Governor Evers ended by saying the only way to beat the pandemic is to be patient and to work together. Well, safety is always a priority in high school sports. That's true this year for different reasons, obviously. Newswatch 12's Andrew Goldstein looked into the issue of masks in sports, high school sports, how local athletes are adapting, whether masks are effective while playing sports.
Ever since volleyball players returned to the court, they've been playing with an extra piece of mandatory equipment.
Sir, I wanted to start out with the girls as setting that as a thing to get accustomed to, wearing the mask.
As the girls get into their workout, they run into a common problem.
For me, it's been very hot, and it is harder to breathe with a mask on too, but we're trying to work through it and push through it as much as we can.
Although there's no danger for most people, state epidemiologist Ryan Westergaard says those with prior breathing issues might want to avoid masking during heavy physical activity.
I think people need to let their, listen to their bodies, and if people are having a sensation that they're not able to breathe well, then taking off a mask is reasonable.
Sports also involve sweat. While organizations ranging from the CDC to the Mayo Clinic recommend changing masks when they become wet, there's not a lot of data that tells us how wet a mask needs to be before it loses effectiveness, or how much worse a wet mask is.
We don't really know. The studies that have sort of lined up different homemade masks didn't look at that. Certainly in healthcare settings, if a mask gets contaminated because it's wet, we recommend changing it.
Selecting the right type of mask is also essential, especially for those players with breathing issues. Experts recommend using a cloth mask like this for athletic activities, and to increase its effectiveness, you generally want to make sure it's double filtered.
You should not wear the N95 respirator masks. You should not wear surgical masks, which will go ahead and restrict the airflow. You should wear a double cloth mask just so you protect the virus from going out.
Outdoors, the rules are a little different. Every team and health department can tailor a mask policy that fits their situation.
We purchased all the splash shields as well for our kids. They've been wearing that on the top and bottom of their face guards right now. But we also purchased a cloth mask that goes on the inside of the face guard.
And while we don't know exactly how effective exercising in a mask is, it's almost certainly better than nothing.
Well, I think it can't hurt. When you think about how masks work and what the potential benefit is, anything that can cut down the risk of infectious particles getting out into the environment and exposing someone else is better than doing nothing.
Which means that everyone, including these volleyball players, will be wearing them a little longer. In the Northwoods, Andrew Goldstein, Newswatch 12.
All right, the fall colors are nearing peak, and they are amazing. Here we are in the UP at Lake of the Clouds. You can see a picture here from Jerry Sneller, a beautiful picture there, of course. Closer to home here from Bob Cover, you can see lots of color in the clouds there, or in the skies there. Again, a beautiful area across our neck of the woods now as we are nearing peak across far northern Wisconsin, and still kind of nearing that across central Wisconsin right now, but it's happening very quickly, as you know. Highs today hit 53 in Rhinelander, also in Antigo, 55 for Merrill and Tomahawk. So you get the idea. Cool day today. The average high is still 61 this time of year. The average low 39. The record low is 24, and a couple of you could be in the 20s early on Friday morning, and the sun sets now at 6:41. All right, so here's the deal across the area. This warmer air across the Midwest, that's going to stay there. Our weather is going to come from here in the next few days, and it's going to come with a vengeance too, because here comes a big push of cool air directly out of Hudson Bay. Will keep us cool, or at least below average, in the next 7 or 8 days before we start to see this come back our direction. But look at the date on here. This is next Tuesday, still many days away. We have a lot of cold air to get through first. Here's that trend. Here we go. 52 tomorrow, 46 though for Thursday, 44 Friday, 47 Saturday. So this is going to feel a bit cool outside, right? With a couple lows in the 20s Friday night into Saturday morning. All right, today though, clouds, a little bit of sun, a couple showers out there, and press repeat all day long. Just like yesterday, same story tomorrow with temperatures back in the 50s, and then the cold front's going to come through. Outside right now, there's a few showers pushing off to the east of us. See you later. Behind us, though, there are still some sprinkles left over in here, but the next problem is going to be up this way. There's a front up there. That's that reinforcing shot of cold air. That will get here tomorrow. It'll lift the air just enough to give us some more rain showers tomorrow through the afternoon, and a couple of those showers could be locally heavy. We could see a half inch or so of rainfall throughout the day tomorrow. tomorrow. So here's that front just to our north of us right now across Canada. It'll sweep through tomorrow, and that's going to introduce all the cold air, open those doors up, and bring us cold weather through the weekend into early parts of next week. And again, the rain showers will be less persistent tomorrow, but for a few hours in the afternoon, look for some locally heavy rainfall. It'll also be windy as that front comes through tomorrow. We could see wind gusts near 30 miles per hour through the afternoon. That will die down tomorrow night. Your forecast, though, for tonight, though, is mostly cloudy skies. A couple of rain showers still out there. Lows down near 39 with a west breeze around 5 for tomorrow. All right, so cloudy and windy, we'll call it. Scattered rain showers out there as well. Not an all-day rain, especially through about noontime or so, with highs near 52, but that northwest wind could gust near 30 as that front comes through. That's going to feel not so good, right? And then looking ahead, your 7-day forecast by Northwest Furniture and Mattress shows rain showers tomorrow, rain into Thursday morning early, then some clearing through the afternoon, and then look what happens to temperatures Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're in the 40s with lows in the upper 20s to low 30s. Justin?
Thanks, Jeff. One hot topic this election season is absentee voting. The number of people voting that way all across the country is expected to smash previous records this year. But how exactly does it work, and do local election officials think it's a good idea? Newswatch 12's Sierra Whaley gives us a look.
If you can vote, if you've got that opportunity, please do it.
Across Wisconsin, many voters are already filling out their absentee ballots. And Merrill City Clerk Bill Heidemann says securing citizens' votes until Election Day is their top priority.
The ballots are emptied. They're taken into a secure place in our office. We go into the software and make sure they're marked as received, and then we put them in a secure place, and they'll stay there till Election Day when we take them to the polls.
Heidemann understands some citizens are concerned about their absentee ballots and says you should check to make sure your vote was received.
In that My Vote application, it will say if it was returned, it'll say it was sent but not returned, so that gives you some tracking ability.
Just yesterday, they emptied out this drop box, and there were already 200 absentee ballots in there. With the debate starting, they're only expecting that amount to double.
The drop box holds probably about 1,000 ballots, so it's not going to fill up, but we don't want those sitting out there a long time.
While many of the ballots may be returned early, Heidemann says it's important not to count them until Election Day.
Sometimes numbers get out there, they may be valid, they may be not valid, and it's not fair to the people that are going on Election Day.
However you vote, Heidemann says making your political voice heard should be your first concern.
People made a lot of sacrifices to enable us to vote, and I don't think it's something that should be taken lightly.
In Merrill, Sierra Whaley, Newswatch 12.
The Potawatomi tribe is trying to get healthy and support their neighbors by running their own farm. Newswatch 12's Georgina Fernandez gives us a look.
It's a farm-to-table lifestyle at Potawatomi Gettigan in Forest County. And whether your diet consists of protein or fruit, the farm has one goal in mind: improving their community's health.
I'm giving back to the community by producing healthy food for them.
The Potawatomi tribe, like many Native Americans, suffer from heart disease and diabetes. Assistant Farm Manager Joe Shepard was first introduced to the idea of the farm back when he was in high school. In 2017, the idea became a reality.
Everything that we produce went to our preschool, our daycare, our elderly, the rec department when they did their summer feedings.
It's all about knowing where your food is coming from. So everything you see being grown and raised behind me is going to end up right behind me. Now the farm is all about providing sustainable food, not just for the tribe anymore, but also the community around them.
Everything that we produce here is in a natural, sustainable way. Our animals are all grass-fed. We don't spray.
Animals are also rotated from pasture to pasture to make sure they're always getting fresh new grass to munch on. And while it's a little too early to see the long-term health benefits in the tribe,
like everybody that comes here is happy that we're doing this, so they can, because they're getting the fresh vegetables, and they know where their meat is coming from.
The farm plans to start growing year-round leafy greens in the future, giving tribes a larger variety of vegetables year-round. And by having their own farm, South say they're cutting down food carbon footprint as well. In Wabino, Georgina Fernandez, Newswatch 12.